Last week at the launch of Onward, the new, fresh-faced Tory campaign aimed at attracting young voters to the party, Michael Gove conjured up a curious image. The Scot likened the political pairing of himself and Ruth Davidson to Sonny and Cher, famous for their 1960s hit I Got You Babe. Thankfully, perhaps, the duo did not break into song. This intriguing pairing of a Leaver and a Remainer, a Scottish alliance, if you like, has got tongues wagging again about what might it all mean. It would be a great story to see Ms. Davidson in number 10, but the only problem is that, for now, it is not where she wants to be. Ruth Davidson and Michael Gove team up to front new Tory think tank Onward, as the Scottish party leader repeatedly says. Her focus, apart from the arrival of Tiny Feet later this year, is on Holyrood 2021. Any bailout before then to stand for Westminster would be a dagger to the heart of the resurgent Scottish Conservatives, a betrayal perhaps. Opponents would accuse her of abandoning Scotland for the bright lights of London. Tory fortunes north of the border would plummet. Last week, the Scottish Conservative leader took a swipe at the Tories under Mrs May, suggesting they were dour and joyless. This week, as Britain approaches the 70th anniversary of the NHS, she told the Prime Minister to forget about tax cuts and pour substantial extra funding into healthcare. And, for good measure, Ms. Davidson also called for the scrapping of Mrs May's immigration target and took aim at another totem, the inclusion of foreign students in the migration numbers. Ruth Davidson, Tory party has moral duty to refresh itself and look beyond grey vote. In her speech at Glasgow University, she repeatedly spoke about centre-ground values and of restoring the social contract, that the next generation will have more opportunities than the last. The party leader insisted the Tories were losing the argument with younger voters, and what was needed was a message of hope, including making real the prospect of millennials getting on the property ladder. On the other side of the Sonny Cher partnership, Mr. Gove has appeared like a man on a mission. Attenborough-inspired, he has jumped from the government's 25-year environmental plan and banning the sale of microbeads to reintroducing beavers to the UK and introducing a stronger prohibition on ivory sales to help protect elephants. The green-tinted Secretary of State is pedaling so fast at a department often regarded in Whitehall's slow lane that Westminster watchers are beginning to think he is on maneuvers himself, or is he possibly laying the ground for you-know-who? Could it be that through such allies, the Davidson prospectus for power at Westminster is slowly beginning to be formed? If, as many suspect, the Tories do not win the Holyrood election in May 2021, there might just be time for the Scot to snatch the UK Conservative crown. Having done her bit for the Scottish Tories, Ms. Davidson might, post the Holyrood election result, declare it was time to seek a new challenge at Westminster. Over the summer of 2021, there would be enough Tory MPs, a year out from the 2022 general election, willing to vacate their seat to let the party heroine from the north lead her charge for Downing Street. A snap by-election in a safe Conservative seat could be key for the former BBC journalist. A policy platform, nurtured over the past 2 years by the likes of Mr. Gove, would already be in place. It would just need the grey suits and skirts to convince Mrs May to leave the stage post-Brexit, which might not, by the summer of 2021, be too hard. A quick coronation would enable the new Tory leader to use the autumn party conference to set out her stall with 8 months to play with before the 2022 poll. And who, one might ask, would Labour fear most in an election campaign, May or Davidson? To answer my own question, something is always going on, and it could just be Ruth.